Okay, so we are producing an infographic and we are using Adobe Illustrator. As you can see, we've got a couple of elements on here that make a good infographic. We have got some charts because obviously it's talking about information, and we have got some text because we need to write on here, and we've got a few text effects as well. So what I'd like to show you now is just some ways in which we can deal with text in Adobe Illustrator. I'll also want to show you a tool called the pen tool, which is not to do with writing, but it's how I did this rather swanky looking wavy sort of box thing here. So the first thing we'll look at is how we do some text in Illustrator, and that is fairly easy. We have a text tool over here and we click it, and then when it is live, when it's pressed down, we can click anywhere on our workspace and we can type in our text, and there we go. This is text. Now obviously that is really small, so I'm going to make it a bit larger, and we just drop down here. So let's knock that up to 36 points so we can see it. If we have a look, at the minute it's using this font Euphemia, which is quite a nice text font to use if you actually want to be able to read it. But Adobe Illustrator does come with an awful lot of fonts. So we've got all our old favourites at the top, good old Arial. If you've ever viewed a website, you will have seen Arial. And we've got a few Swiss Family fonts in here as well. If I just scroll down, we've got Helvetica, of course. So let's have a look. Windows machines normally have Tahoma on here. So let's just have a look for T. There we go. So there's Tahoma. Again, another nice readable font. So if you're just displaying it like I have here with some information, then any kind of non-serif font will do. However, if you want to do a nice interesting sort of text effect like I've got here, then we need to use a nice big font, and the one I'm using here is called Georgia. When I can find it, there we go. Actually, no, I'm going to swap. I'm going to use Gill Sans Extra Bold. Let's have a look at this one for a minute. This is a really, really, really nice thick text. And the real reason we use a thick text is because in Illustrator we can have a stroke as well as a fill. And I'll just show you this. I'm just going to put a 2-point stroke on that. And you can see already my text has changed. Now, if I highlight the text, this first one is our text fill. So let's swap our text fill to a nice blue, so we can see that we've got this black line around the text, and that black line around the text is our text stroke, and we can swap here, stroke, click to activate, and I can now change the colour of the stroke. So let's change it to a red, and you can see that there's all sorts of text effects that I can play around with there. So I'm just going to swap both of those back to a black or a grey for a moment. So let's just click on the black, and again on this one, let's just click on the black. So we go back to that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the selector tool, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it so that I've now got two of them. And I'm going to do one of them, this one here, in a grey. There's the stroke, and there's the fill. And then what I do is I lay one over the top of the other, either like that, or if I want, I can right click, I can arrange, and I can send this one to the back so that it lays underneath like so. And if I just play around, nudging those around, I'm just using the arrow keys to nudge them, and you can see that I can get some quite interesting effects by just moving this text around. Okay. Again, that one can go arrange, and that one can go to the back. And if you play around with the different types of font, you can get some really interesting effects. When you've done and you're happy, if you select around everything using this tool and then go to Object, you can group it, and that way, next time you try and move it, the whole lot moves as one. And the final thing we've got, I said I'd show you how to do this. This is using the pen tool, and the pen tool is this one here. Okay, so we click on the pen tool, and what our pen tool allows us to do is it allows us to click, drag, click, click, and so on, and we can make an editable shape. The nice thing about this shape, I'm just doing this very, very roughly. It doesn't really matter because we can edit this shape point by point. So it's a little bit wonky at the moment. So if I use the direct selection tool, I can click on any one point, and then using the arrow keys on the keyboard, I can just nudge it back until it sits nice and straight and even. So I'm just using the arrow key to nudge that one back over there, and I'll nudge that up like so, and then let's knock that one up a little bit. And then finally this one needs to come up, and it needs to come across, and this one here. And there we go, we've got an editable shape, and because it is completely editable, we can have it really any shape you like, but even better is using this one. We can click it and we can fill it with any colour that we like. And of course, because it's a shape, it not only has a fill, but it also, if you want it, has a stroke, and the stroke can be changed to any point size you like just by clicking down there. So there we have it, a pen tool and some text effects in Adobe Illustrator.